We're going to talk about politics, we're going to talk about the movements and the political atmosphere ahead of the 2027 general elections. A quick reminder that you can watch us on the go by joining our YouTube and Facebook live stream, so you stay in touch with the conversation on the go. Now let's talk about how the momentum generated by the ADC is reverberating across the political landscape, especially considering how Nigerians are already weighing their options ahead of the next general election, which is still a year plus away. It's safe to say that the 2027 election season has already started quite early, and the African Democratic Congress, with of course its new momentum, is reshaping conversations around leadership, the governance, and the alternative that Nigerians have on election day. So let's speak to someone who understands what the ADC is trying to bring to the table and whether or not it's a viable option for Nigerians. We're joined by one of the stakeholders of the ADC, his Chief Chille Igbawua, a former Chief Commissioner of the Public Complaints Commission and a chieftain of the African Democratic Congress. Chief, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good morning.
Morning, thank you. Good morning, viewers.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
What do you say to Nigerians who say that the ADC, just like the people who are pushing for it as an alternative, are becoming a nuisance to the APC administration, who needs all the focus to pay attention to delivering the dividends of democracy to the people of Nigeria?
Well, thank you once again. First of all, Nigeria runs a multi-party system. And in every multi-party democracy, you must have several political parties. I think that when there was no serious opposition for the APC, it didn't mean anything to them because they didn't use it for any purpose anyway. And what they actually need is some strong opposition. And I think the coming of the ADC should be a blessing to them in one way, so they can keep them on their toes, but maybe a curse because they'll be sent packing come 2027.
Why are you so confident that this is what's going to happen? I mean, you barely have, the structure that would, oust the APC. I mean, considering where they are right now with everything that they have done over the past 10 years, give or take, don't you think that the task is a bit Herculean for you to already assume that you're going to oust them?
Well, let's compare their 10 years with the period that the PDP, for instance, ruled. PDP did much, much better than what they're doing, and yet PDP was defeated at elections. So I do not see anything they have done which is extraordinary that will make Nigerians to still believe in them. I'm sure that if we go to the streets and ask people, how do they feel? Are they feeling better now that the APC is in government? They will tell you no. Everything is wrong. There is hunger. There is poverty. There is, impunity. And, there is lack of concern for the plight of the people. We have massive killings. And all that the government does is come on in the media and say we condemn. Why you condemn? The people get killed every day. So the situation is as if we had no government at all. And I think the people are actually yearning for a government. Maybe that's the reason why the ADC has been received so overwhelmingly. And I want to say that we may have just come up, but we have been on this project for 1 year, 3 months today. So we know what we have planned, and we know where we are going. So we are confident because of what we know, and we know the alternatives that Nigeria deserves, and we're working on them.
All right. But what do you think ADC would do differently that would, convince Nigerians towards, that name on the ballot paper when it comes to the election day?
Yeah, first and foremost, we at ADC believe that, like Abdullahi of old used to say, you cannot shave somebody's head in his absence. We have our population demographics out there very clearly, which shows that the youth far outnumber those who are 60 years and above. You also have the demographics showing that women are more than men in this country. And meanwhile, you are designing programs for these people and they're not participating. ADC desires and insists that women must have the minimum of 35% representation, both in political participation and patronage. And we also believe that the youth should have 50% We're not going for the issue of youth leader, woman leader. No, that is just spicing a system with those kind of things to deceive people. In the existing constitution of the ADC, you have a youth leader women, female, a youth leader male separately. That's one. But we're going far beyond that. What we're doing is that we're going to, completely reform the ADC. It has, I've read the constitutions of not less than, 12 political parties in this country from page to page. And I know that ADC has the best constitution. You'll be surprised that it was virtually a silent political party. But they had worked so much on what a political party should be like and how a political party can control, its officers. Now, what we have in this country is when a person is elected into office, he suddenly becomes the leader of the party. It was not like that before. When we had serious political parties in the past in this country, like the MPN days, the chairman of the party could invite the president to come listen to some guide where they felt he was not doing what the party desired. Because it's a party that has the manifesto, and our constitution does not recognize, individual, candidates. So the candidate must belong to a party, and you are elected to do the bidding of the party for the betterment of the people. So we plan that we should get back to the place where parties control those they elect. Even in traditional society, kingmakers don't become kings because they have been made kings. Kingmakers remain kings to make kings. So they concentrate on the job of making kings, while kingmakers perform the job for which they have been elected. So we are taking all those things, and like I told you on demographics, those who are in the larger numbers should participate effectively in the policies that govern their lives. Right. And so we're going to show that very clearly when we fully constitute, National Working Committee and NEC, that women and youth will be fully represented so they can take ownership of the plans that are being made for them.
But how much of this is political rhetoric? Because Nigerians will say we've heard this before, and the people in the ADC are also known quantities, are people with track records that can be traced, whether it's in the PDP or in other political parties before now. Why should Nigerians believe what the ADC is selling when for the last 26 years Nigerians have been left unsatisfied with the deliverables so far?
Well, first, Nigerians who are politicians have belonged to political parties over the years. You can't get those who have never belonged to political parties, except they're not politicians. They're coming in new years, but if they have been politicians, you will find that they have been in one party or another. I was a member of the ADP. I was elected to National Assembly from the platform of the PDP. And until a few days ago, I was a member of the National Disciplinary Committee of the PDP. So I am from the PDP like many are. We also have people from the Labour Party, from APC, from ABGA, and so forth. Now the issue is, sometimes in life, you make mistakes, but you realize them. And when you realize the mistakes, you want to correct them. And I think those who essentially are coming, you can see that there are not too many young people for now. And if they are sitting down and thinking of the younger people, it means they have realized that there has been an error in the past. So those are the things that are going to be corrected. But it will not be rhetorics, because if we don't do what we say, it will become rhetorics. And I assure you that possibly before the end of this month, or maybe in the first week of next month, you will find a reconstituted National Working Committee of the PDP, and those things I'm speaking about, you will see them there physically.
No.
So it will not be
of the
rhetoric.
ADC?
Of the ADC, yeah.
Right. I mean, you just left the PDP, so I can understand why the
easier to come out, yes, absolutely.
So,
okay, that's all right. Yeah. I think I have to discipline my mouth.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not old wine in a new bottle?
No, it's not old wine in a new bottle. It's old wine, yes, for the experience. That is desirable to leave a legacy. That look, if our generation failed, we must first, recant that failure and prepare the youths who are the majority to take over governance so that they can, better appreciate and participate in the process of governance.
Sounds to me that you have a transition project here.
Yeah.
To change from the old guard to the new. Is that what you're saying?
Surely. That's the major project of the ADC. And like I said, you will see it when the reconstitution of the organs is done. You will see it there clearly. And ADC, even under their present constitution, believes in grassroots democracy. It is the only party in Nigeria which has an executive committee at the polling unit level. No other party does that. And so you should see that there was a lot of thought put in by those who put that constitution together. So if I praise it, I'm not praising it because I suddenly am in the ADC. It's because I know and have practiced the constitution of a political party and have studied the constitution of several other political parties in the course of trying to do constitutional amendments for our political party. So I know them. And I'm saying that no other political party in Nigeria has the thought that for you to truly show that you're interested in grassroots, coverage of the people, that you should have an executive council at the polling unit level, because that's where the whole politics starts. So I think that's one of the existing areas in which there is evidence that it was a well thought out document. And I tell you that we're still going to improve on that document to ensure that some of these ideas that we are bringing in, along with the youth, because they will have things that they think are very, very important to be also included in the Constitution. So when we come to the phase of constitutional amendments, those things will be put there. But surely we'll start with them at the beginning. The youth will be there at the beginning. The women will be there at the beginning, so that those things which they're speaking from outside, you are aware that up till now we're talking about 35%, affirmative action, which has not received anything. I think when we come up on TV and say, well, you see, Rwanda has more women than men in the parliament. It's not as if they did any magic. But if you go there, you will see that there is that opening. And we intend also that parts of Nigeria in particular where women are not given freedom, we will have a serious program of sensitization so that women can be allowed to come out. They have a lot to offer. There's no reason why a woman who was a female who has had the same level of educational experience with a male should be confined to what our former president said, the Azar room. It should be out there, serving the nation.
Right. All right. With the ADC, we would say that there isn't a track record of a lot of elections being won by them. And then with the array of people that are seen at the forefront, do you think that the main focus would be on unity as well as navigating the political scene when it comes to trying to, get the majority of the votes when it comes to election day?
Yeah, surely, like I mentioned earlier, the ADC already has, an arm which does a lot of, political education at the lower level. Those are some of the things we found. And we agree that it has been a rather quiet political party. They have not won any elections. And we feel it is even better for us because that allows you the latitude to bring in all the innovations that you want to bring in. And the fact that people who are moving inside already have a base. For instance, I have been a member of the National Assembly. So I have my political structures, and those who are coming in also have their political structures. So we're not going to rely on the limited political structures of the ADC as it is now, but we're going to bring, those values of the political, ways that the various persons have in their various constituencies. So, and we know too that Nigerians are tired of what we have now. Tired because you don't see, you don't see a government that has priorities. Things that they prioritize are things that don't make sense. I mean, you have people are being killed, and then you take a lot of money, 39 billion, you say you're renovating a building in Abuja, enclave development. You take so much, say you're building the coastal road. Those are the things you begin to go in when you have peace in the country. The priority of this government should be the protection of lives and properties of the citizens. And I would have expected that the government that is serious should have declared a state of emergency on security, so that you can have a program that people can, follow you. Say, for instance, that, okay, these are the states that are most badly affected by either insurgency or banditry or kidnapping or whatever. Let us have a program on ground to say that, okay, within 3 months, I'm going to secure this area. In the next 3 months, I'll secure. So that the program is progressive. So you can have hope that over time, within the program as planned, you will eventually have a country that's peaceful, so that farmers can go back to their farms. If we're having food prices rising now, it's not because the value of the naira, the exchange rate has affected it. It's because those who were farming those foodstuffs can't go to the farms. And it's getting worse by the day. So if we think that by building, renovating mansions and that, the people will be safer and that food prices will come down, I think we're just joking.
Right. What do you say to concerns about how the ADC is preaching a new gospel, progressive, youth-oriented, but the people that are almost predetermined to be on the ballot for the ADC are people who have been in the system for decades and decades? What happens to new people taking charge of the ADC and heading to the ballot?
First, let me say that speaking as an insider, nobody has been predetermined to be on the ballots. One of the issues that we have been on since this discussion started over a year ago has been that you come into the meeting of the ADC or the coalition, for let me not say ADC because we started as a coalition. Keep your ambition, lock your ambition in your bedroom before you come. So it is just speculations and projections by people who already know that this person is there, has ambition to be a president, this person has ambition to be a senator. That is what people are projecting. ADC has not made any steps. We are not yet there to talk about elections. Our concern is to have a firm party on the ground, to educate the people on what they need and how they can participate better. We are interested in having a more informed followership so that they can hold elected officers to account. That is our interest. So we are not looking for personal interest. I am, for instance, I told you I also won election in the past. I'm not necessarily insisting that you go back and contest elections. If I have younger people, why not? Whom I trust. And of course, when we talk about the younger people, we're not just talking about age. Young people with pedigree. Because you don't intend to put people there. We have tried young people in the past without conditions. And some of them have been the greatest disappointment. And I'm sure you know the kind of people I'm talking about. So we desire to have young people and females with pedigree. They're not just going there because of their age. No, neither are they going there because of their gender. They're going there because, in their right, they have the capacity and competence to be in those places, whether it is political party offices or whether it's public offices of election. So that is the kind of thing we're looking at. So when and nobody should think that people have been penciled down, you're going to be president, you're going to be this. No. Ambitions are there, but we have not allowed that to affect our planning.
Right. So when the 2023 presidential candidate of the ADC says the whole machination around the formation, around the coalition, was to present an Atiku presidency, he doesn't know what he's saying.
He doesn't know. I'm saying so because I'm inside. I'm at every point of what has been happening in the coalition. So I know. Those who are outside, let me tell you that there are some people who think that maybe now that you have virtually a faction, the PDP, some people think maybe the ADC is a new baptismal name for that faction of the PDP. That is wrong. And by starting, we have shown that the national chairman nominee comes from the PDP. The national secretary nominee comes from the APC. So that is to send the message that nobody should think that because you have a faction or a party, then this new project is to rename that faction. No. It is an open, political project which involves everybody. I told you where we have been working on the coalition. There are people of different shades of opinion, from different political backgrounds. Even factions within parties are there. Even within the APC, you have people who have come in as genuine APC who are dissatisfied with the party and have left and come over. There are people who said, well, maybe at CPC we don't like what is happening in APC, so we are moving altogether at CPC out, and then we're here in the coalition. So people are not, who are outside, are thinking of their own, miniature political structural understanding, which is wrong. But those who are from within will tell you, if you ask them, that this is a huge political machinery which is open to everybody. And wherever we have tried to introduce it, we have called for caution to those who think they already have structures. Don't think we are bringing a new baptismal name for your structure. This is a new, project, and everybody is welcome on board. When we had our unveiling, the chairman was very clear. Who needs to be here? Those who can't afford 3 meals in a day, those who can't pay the children or the fees of their children in school, those who can't find, opportunities for medical treatment in hospital. That's where you belong, because these are the things we are trying to create. And maybe I should say too that there has been a lot of, speech about removing Tinubu as the main project. That's not the main project. If Tinubu were a good president, nobody would be talking about removing him. But certainly he's not a good president.
All right.
He has failed to, to put up what people thought mistakenly that he could do. Maybe his capacity is limited at a smaller level.
All right. You spoke about ADC putting together a structure that is beneficial to Nigerians. And a lot of Nigerians would hear what you're saying and say that it sounds good to the ear, but then they would say a lot of people have come about and said those things as well. How is ADC different in bringing that change to Nigerians, and with them seeing that a lot of people have moved from other parties that have said those things before? How are they going to implement that? How are they going to be sure that the ADC is going to deliver?
Well, in the course of discussion, I've mentioned just a few things. First of all, I said those who really matter are going to be part of the system. The youth. Just come to think of it that those who are between age 0 and 14 constitute 40% of those 200 million people. Those who are not even yet prepared for politics, just age 0 to 14, constitute 40% of the total population of Nigeria. Then you have those who are 60 and above, just 13% or thereabout. But if you look at those faces, you may see that most of them are those who are in that age grade, or maybe 60 and above. Their percentage is very small. I think even if you were to put things on the table and say pick one, they can't pick more than 15 pieces. Secondly, I've also said that in addition to the fact that those who matter are going to participate, so except they want to rock the boat themselves. Otherwise, you've been crying for this opportunity. The female gender have been crying. They are going to be there. Let's see how you manage these things. The youth have been crying out for participation. They are going to be there. Let's see how they also contribute to the process of good policies. But beyond that, I also told you that ADC desires to be a party that is in control of what they are saying. You have a market you are selling, and as the producer of the product, you are the one who designs the adverts. It's not your distributor or retailer. You, as the producer, you design your adverts on how you want to sell your project, and you don't expect the retailer to go and change the advert because he is not producing; he's only selling. So the party intends to be in charge of the system, so that when you promise people based on your manifesto, and you now elect officers and put them in offices, you should ensure that that manifesto is, the one that is guiding governance. So those are the issues that we're thinking about. Right. So yes, the other parties, I said, have failed in that area because those who get elected become leaders of the party. It shouldn't be that way. Because it means then that you are you are taking all the positions. You are the one who is the accuser. You are also the judge in your own cause. Put out somebody in the office, he's not doing well. Call him and say, look, you're not doing well. You need to do this and this. And if necessary, if he becomes intransigent, you can, as a party, resort to recall as provided in case of legislators in the Constitution, you can organize a recall. That recall this, let's send something who is better because he no longer, is no longer doing what this party expected him to do. So we expect that with those levels of controls, and then there should be sufficient indoctrination as to, manifestos. We should respect what we're saying, so that without even coercion, we should be able to follow what we're saying. So that is what we intend to make it different.
Chief, a lot of people say it's easier said than done. In the Fourth Republic, we've never had party supremacy in its absolute sense. In the same manner, you could talk about the NPNs, back in the, Second and Third Republic or things like that. But let's segue into a deeper conversation around the commitment of some of the political figures that have been driving the conversation around the coalition and that are also a part of that unveiling. We've seen people from the Labour Party, we've seen people from the PDP, we've seen people from the APC or even the SDP with the likes of former Governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai. Talk to us about what some say is obvious, that, listen, their ambition is too great that if one or two people don't end up on the ballot, they might just move to their primary political party. Because we've heard from people in the Labour Party say, for instance, listen, we've not left the Labour Party, but we're still with the coalition, which is to say that, they have one leg in, one leg out, or one leg in the ADC, one leg in the Labour Party, so they have a contingency plan. Is there a pact that has, committed all these key political players to commit to the ADC, come what may?
Yeah, first, I think I'd like to clear the issue of people being one leg and one leg out, because I've heard it mentioned in the media, both electronic and print. The two persons who, for now, are still operating in that way are His Excellency Peter Obi and His Excellency El-Rufai. This is not an accident or an act of, disregard for where they belong. It is an agreement with the party that they have sponsored candidates in by-elections in those political parties, and they need to complete those projects. The same thing that El-Rufai is asking for by September this year, he would have completed his project in SDP. And so he will have no business there. But if we remove him from there now, those who were looking to him for the candidates that they are sponsoring will say, no, he himself has even abandoned the party, so why should we elect those people? So he's staying there to midwife those by-elections. The same thing with Peter Obi in the Labour Party. That is, he knows it, and this is an agreement in the House. So we're very much aware. It's not as if they're doing it, out of spite for, for the coalition. So it's a very clear thing, and we should understand this, that they are doing it as part of the project of the ADC, that they should finish their outstanding elections in those political parties before they now fully come. But they don't miss a meeting. They are always there because they know that this is where they belong. And even the other day, Peter Obi was speaking to people, and he told them, he said, look, I am in the ADC for purposes of changing this country. I'm not in ADC for personal gains. He was addressing people and had this to say. So when people say, well, they are one leg in Labour Party, yes, it's true. It is by design of the coalition that they should not abandon the candidates they have sponsored. Possibly, ADC may not be sponsoring very strong candidates in those areas. And would rather...
That conflict of interest, Chief, is unethical in politics.
It's not unethical.
It's like eating your cake and having it at the same time.
They're not having anything back. It's a transitional, provision. I've told you that by end of August, El-Rufai will not be talking about SDP because his by-elections are legislative by-elections, which are sometimes in August. And this, I agree that days are set down. Go and finish your project. And we're expecting you by Sunday no longer to be having one leg somewhere.
So unofficially, he's with the ADC, but officially it is after their separate projects round up. That's when they join you full-time.
No, they are full-time. There's nothing that is happening, they're not part of it. Daily meetings, they are there. Now,
you don't think you're telling them your secrets? I mean, your ADC is going to be in the by-elections, I suppose, right?
Of course.
Right.
And then with that, don't you think that it would bring about a lack of confidence when it comes to their followers as well, seeing them split between one party and the other, even though there's a coalition there?
I know the issue, what will happen is that we will know how to manage those elections at the various places. It's not the first time we're having this kind of situation. Now, if you are going into, even when APC went to a merger, for instance, or when political parties go into a merger, and you have elections that are coming up before you have fully completed the circle of the merger, you now pick and choose where you have stronger candidates. If the party A is having a stronger candidate, you put your hands together, get him elected. If party B has stronger candidate, put your hands together, get him elected. That's how it operates. And it's not going to be different in the situation that we're having. So there is no conflict at all.
Right. So where is Atiku right now? Because he just left the PDP and he has not announced, his membership of the ADC. Is he having second thoughts?
You saw him on the screen when it was being unveiled. So I don't know how Ace can announce.
Yeah, but he hasn't announced. I mean, he officially is not an ADC member, so we can't assume that he's by default an ADC member.
Well, maybe he's desirous of being. You can see him there on your screen.
Right.
That is
a couple of weeks ago,
when
he was still a member of the PDP.
Maybe I came here. You introduced me as ADC Chieftain.
Yeah.
Maybe so far what I have done is I have resigned.
So you're not fully in ADC yet?
No, I'm saying I have resigned.
Right, from PDP.
I may not have publicly said so in the resignation letter that I'm leaving you to go and join ADC. But so the information people will have is that, yes, this person has resigned from our party. And so where is he now?
Right.
Now, I'm in ADC because I've been there at every stage. Officially, yes.
Right, okay. You have your membership card and everything?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Atiku has it. That's why I'm asking the question.
Well, we'll tell you, we're the ones to tell you whether he has or not.
Well, isn't that the most open secret?
That is it. We're the ones who can tell you whether he has a card or not.
Right.
At least you saw the man who, His Excellency David Mark. You saw that his card was shown on screen. So where there is need to show a card, we'll show the card. People who say their parties don't go, they say, look, here is my card. They don't do that. It is when there is need, if it's requested for. Where is evidence of membership? You put your hand in your pocket and say, here is it. But if there's no need, the fact that you are saying you are a part of that party is sufficient until there's a specific demand. Let me see your card. And that doesn't happen in the street all the time. When you go to campaign to people to join your party, don't say, let me see your card first before I join. They believe you because you are speaking in favor of that political party. So everybody you are seeing in the ADC is in the ADC. Like people are leaving other political parties. We're not saying that nobody can leave ADC. But what we're saying is that so far, the level of commitment of every person who is in the ADC is so total that we're not thinking about the other side. We're thinking of presenting something completely new to Nigeria, and we're also thinking of doing something completely new and better for this country.
All right, and in talking about what comes next, right? You look at the lineup. Some say there's still the third option of registering a new political party. Can you put those concerns to rest? Can you confirm or deny that ADC is the last bus stop for the coalition?
When we started the project, and then we went into this understanding with ADC, before they finally agreed to that we should be together, we had said there will be changes. The party can be rebranded. So if in the course of rebranding you see a different name, that doesn't mean that we'll have left ADC. It simply means that you will not see ADC again. So there will be rebranding, and so many things can happen in the course of rebranding. But the important thing is that ADC, contrary to what people think, that people came and sacked ADC, no. We are working hand in hand. Even in the constitution of offices, the people who were the ADC before other people came are still going to hold their offices that are given to them on equity basis. So it is a coming together. It is not a buy-over or a takeover, as some people suggest. So they will be rebranding. The issue of registering a new political party has been one of the options that we started pursuing from the beginning. We had asked ourselves, what are the options available to us? And we said, option number 1, register a new political party. Option number 2, do a merger. Option number 3, adopt an existing political party. And like I told you, we've been on this for over a year and 3 months. So a lot of thought has gone into it. We have done a lot of research. And the steps we are taking are in the order of, preferred options with concrete reasons, both political, legal, and social. So political party registration is a continuous exercise. So even we register a political party, it can be there. We may not necessarily have use for it immediately, but it was one of the options, and we're pursuing all of them together. We know what, the present government is scared of. They will prefer a one-party system, and that's what they're working for. So
Even when the president was very categorical, saying that that's not what he wants?
No, he's not saying the truth. That is exactly what he wants. How do you, as a person who was a legislator, a former senator, a former governor, you desire every elected official to be in your political party? What's the meaning of that?
Yeah, but as far as we know, Chief, nobody was coerced.
They were coerced.
How so? Where's the evidence?
We have our evidence. We may not say it here, but what we know is that one of the ways that in Nigeria, I may not be saying on this one, is that they'll call you and they give your EFCC file to read. When you read and you finish, they say, okay, what shall we do?
Is that what you're doing?
And remember too that distinguished Senator Shomole had announced long ago that whenever you come over to APC, all your sins are forgiven.
I mean,
so those who are going there are going for forgiveness of sins.
That comment was taken out of context.
How? It was never taken out of context.
He said it was localized to their understanding of certain cultural beliefs in Edo. But we digress. Can you apply the same thing?
As national chairman.
Can you apply the same thing to people who are joining the ADC? Are they also being coerced?
We're not in a position to forgive sins.
So yours
is
different.
About government. Yeah, government is there saying, look, your EFCC file is looking very dirty. So if you come, we will forgive you. What they don't know is how long is the forgiveness. Because the forgiveness will just be there as long as they last in office. And that's not going to be beyond 2027.
So
your forgiveness is maybe for the next 2 years, and after that, you come back for another forgiveness, perhaps.
Is the ADC saying that when it gets into power, or if it gets into power, it will unearth all the dirty things that you think have been pardoned by the APC administration?
I wouldn't say that for now, but the issue is that the law is very clear on these things. Governors, for instance, their immunity lasts as long as they are in office. They are open to be investigated. And when the investigations are completed, the investigation reports are kept there. And as soon as they're out of office, you use the same to prosecute them. So some misunderstand, immunity as a license or a visa to misconduct and impunity. The issue is that you have the law enforcement agencies have the right to investigate everybody, whether you are president or whether you are governor. The only thing they cannot do while you are in office is to prosecute you. But the same investigation results that are there are the ones that are going to be used to prosecute you as soon as you are out of office. So it's not a matter of even the ADC saying so, but that because ADCs will allow the system to run normally, let the judiciary do what their job is. Let the legislature do what their job is. Let the executive do what their job is. And if you are being investigated and you have come to the point of prosecution, an ADC government will interfere to say, don't prosecute this person because he's a member of the
As far as we know, the latest development from the EFCC is the chairman says they're currently investigating 18 serving governors. So don't you think that the APC deserves a thumbs up for allowing the EFCC to do its job without any interference?
There's nothing new. Absolutely nothing new. I was in government. Even though I'm a lawyer, I was a permanent secretary finance and economic planning for 8 years that the President SJ was governor of Benue State. I was his permanent secretary finance and economic planning for all those 8 years. And I know that we will be investigated every week. Every week. So investigation
So
has never, it's not a new thing, it's a thing. I've just told you that investigations go on. What we should look for is prosecution. All those investigations at the end of the last tenure of the EFCC chairman. He announced the number of governors that have been investigated and who will be prosecuted. How many of them have been prosecuted? We have people as governors who came out, EFCC did some drama somewhere. You will see that EFCC is looking for this man. Meanwhile, he's celebrating either a new marriage or he's contesting for another office. So that's not the kind of thing we're talking about. That is for the optics. You just say so that people listen to you and say that you are doing your work. Investigation has always been there. There has been no time that AFCC has stopped investigations. They always do it. And I know that during the tenure that I served as a permanent secretary in the government, the governor I served, who is the president SGF, was being investigated every day. And we were answering questions as in my capacity as the permanent secretary of finance and the chief finance officer of the state. I was answering questions. So there's nothing new about investigations. So don't think that what they are saying on shows that they have allowed. It's not a matter of allowing. That is one area that I'd like to clarify. When a law is there, it doesn't give you power, you want to assume it. The EFCC law does not say that you should investigate somebody at the approval of the president. No. You are even supposed to investigate the president himself. And that is why I made this statement long time ago. I say what happens is that why states were calling for their own, financial crimes agencies, is that this one is a federal one. So they put the president and federal government behind them, and they face everybody. As far as they're concerned, president and federal government is behind. They don't look at them. So they don't investigate them. And that's unfair. Right. Because if you look at the resources of the nation, it is the federal government that picks the biggest chunk of the resources. And then you are concentrating on people who have the lesser resources and leaving the person who has the main thing. So there is nothing new and nothing to celebrate about the EFCC saying that they're investigating 18 governors. It has always been the case, and it should be the case.
All right. I believe, unfortunately, that's all the time we have. Chief Chille Igbawua, thank you so much for an interesting conversation. I appreciate your perspective on this one.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time.
I appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you.